Hello! We are back with, this is our, I guess, the second episode. We're calling it Down the Road, because that's what I said yesterday, and I didn't even mean to. This is Bryant. He's going to be the business partner. We got our little logo back here is the office. It's literally in a basement, but it looks good. Like, we're trying out here. So, like I said yesterday, we're just doing this to have some fun, and it's cool to recap and just do shit.
Did you show them our setup?
Huh?
That we have this sitting on a bucket and a thing.
Oh yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that we're working with here. Sometimes you just got to make it happen.
Well, this is yeah. Like we got a good day today. I'd say we're trying to get the legality stuff figured out. Bryant was doing that all day, and it's
Probably a lot longer than it should have taken.
yeah. It seemed like it kind of fried your brain a little, so this can
Yes.
decompress us. And we're gonna have to get him knowledgeable with like the sales process and everything, because you come from like a background of
Yeah, my background's mostly marketing, so I'm leaning on you pretty heavy for getting me up to snuff on the traffic stuff and the transportation lingo and the whole cold calling. It's all new to me.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be cool, and hopefully we can get started by next week of actually doing the work, because we're kind of in the trial period of testing out partners and stuff like that, and just getting everything set up. But what I was gonna say something, I can't remember now.
Was it about our to-do list being half closed off already?
Yeah, we got a to-do list going.
Yeah,
and doing good.
hardware, software, check. Agency's the next thing on the list. Hopefully we'll get somewhere, like you said, by the end of the week so we can start next week cold calling clients.
We're becoming freight agents. It's not necessarily our own brokerage from the ground up with our own MC number and all that crap. Like, we're joining a partner to make it a little bit easier on us, and I think that's a good idea for us. And people, if you're in freight brokerage, you know what that's about. But tell us, like, what's your experience so far, like, with logistics?
What was my experience with logistics?
Yeah, like, what do you think?
Little to none, man. Oh, how much I like it so far? It's
Yeah.
cool, man. Like you talked a little bit yesterday about going to the AI robotics show. That was kind of my wheelhouse, man. I had a lot of fun walking around before you got there, and then when you got there, and I think we had some really good conversations. I think we can help people out moving some giant ass robots, essentially.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's pretty sweet.
I don't know if anybody has experience moving that. Hopefully, like, people from the freight world will see this one day.
Yeah.
Or, like, we can get our shit out there to those people, because I think they'd like it. I don't fucking know. It's kind of just for us, I think, at this point.
It's pretty cool. We're in a cool region right now too. I mean, I don't know how the transportation industry is doing, but again, my kind of bent on AI robotics has a pretty good outlook.
Yeah.
And we're right down the road from Bakery Square, Robotics Avenue, or was it AI?
Yeah, that's
Avenue,
crazy. I didn't
Robotics
know
Road?
that, like, Pittsburgh is such a big AI and robotics hub for stuff like that, and that kind of surprised me. I found that out yesterday. Their stuff.
Yeah.
So we are, like,
That's the thing.
this is just ground up. Like, this is just it. Like,
Yeah.
we're not doing anything special. We're not here to, like, fucking become influencers.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm not, like, we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to, like, hopefully inspire somebody to, like, fucking do stuff. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
thing, man. I was laid off in March of this year. And I've been talking to companies, and tariffs have been a problem. All sorts of stuff been going on, and wasn't a whole lot of opportunity. So you got to make it, and that's kind of one of the benefits you can hear. So my wife and kid are upstairs, which is kind of cool. So in the mornings, I get to have breakfast with them. I also get to clean up cat puke off the carpet down here, and
I still have so much shit on my mind. I feel like I was gonna say something about this whole thing, like
about how we're getting swag.
Yeah, we're getting shirts and stuff. That's cool, I guess. It's just like those little things kind of are fun. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily important to what the business is, but like it is. It it's building a business from the ground up. And like somebody told me that this looks like AI. Fuck you. Okay, that's what I have to say. Like, I mean, I like her logo, so it's cool,
man. I like it too.
And that's not what is important to me. What important to me, at least, is this journey that I'm on with my buddy. You know what I mean? And these videos are cool.
Yeah, man. Well, what are you What are you trying to get out of this? I mean, that's like.
Get out of the videos?
No, get out of the whole experience. Like for me, I'd like work-life balance, right? Kids, wife, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of taking the future, or my own future, in my own hands, kind of deal.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Money's not all that important. It's important, but
yeah, it's not really about the money. I don't think anymore. Like it's about the journey and finding purpose.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like I know people struggle out there with like finding that. And I don't think starting a business is going to be my purpose, but maybe the journey of doing so is, and like being independent and self-reliant on this stuff. Like it's just, I don't work well with other people, and I think we're kind of
I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see that.
I'm just like, I don't know. I'm very set in like, I know what works. Especially in this, when I know something and I know it works, that's why I picked I mean, I didn't necessarily pick you, but I knew that we would always have a great partnership if we ever started a business, because like we just bounce ideas off each other, and it's gonna get like volatile probably, or to fight.
We can say whatever we want. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the nice part.
Yeah, and it's not gonna hurt each other's feelings. Like, and I think Brian knows my passion is geared towards the right direction. That's just making us
I think that's why we're
successful.
I think that's why we make a good partnership too.
Yeah,
we're kind of different sides of the brain.
We are. Yeah, definitely. Like
very complimentary.
And we're not like salespeople either, like your typical like blah, blah, blah. I think that goes for a lot of freight brokers if you're a freight broker out there, but like we get the job done, and we're going to, because it's just right now it's just fun. And I'm enjoying the ride. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think it's important to talk about like how we landed on the name too, and why we were.
Yeah, I wanted you to. That's what I wanted him to talk about.
So, like I said, I was unemployed since March, doing all sorts of stuff, trying to find things out. So it took a little time. Blah blah blah. That all doesn't matter. So it actually got to the point where I was looking at logistics for warehousing and whatever, and really just needed to have a sense of like duty in life. So I picked up some warehousing shifts at Amazon. And I was terrified, to be honest. It's like total step back from where I was, something totally different. You hear all the horror stories, and some of them live up to that. But it was like the day I was going, I was talking to Jared. I've been thinking about the brokerage thing with Jared for a long time. Never pulled the trigger. And literally right before leaving the house, I dropped to my knees, and I prayed, and I said, God, give me a sign that we're supposed to do this with Jared, or that I'm supposed to do this with Jared. For whatever reason, I had the words giant bird in my head.
And you've went by this like spiritual stuff, religious stuff before. Like you've said, like, give me a sign, and it's happened for you before in very important situations. Yeah. And this was one of those times, right?
Yeah, this was definitely one of those times. I actually have a list on my refrigerator of the times it started, and it goes back to some just wild stuff. It's like a side story of 2016. My grandmother's dying from cancer, and I was going back home every weekend to go hunting, and I'd be in the woods all day and never see anything, and then on my way home I'd see hundreds of deer out in the fields and stuff. So when I heard that she's had cancer, it was really bad, and she wasn't going to take any medication and stuff, I was really upset. And I said, God, if she's going to make it, show me a deer on my way home. That's about an hour drive at night, and like I said, it felt like a sure thing. And I'm driving home and putting my headlights in every field, not seeing anything. And we lived on Cushman at the time. Mm-hmm. And I've seen deer up there, so I'm pulling in the road and not seeing anything. Park in front of the house, and I just start crying because I'm not getting that sign from God. And I didn't accept it, and I said, God, I'm going to keep driving until I see a deer. And I got off of Mount Washington. If you know anything about that, it takes like 10 minutes. I get to the bottom of the hill, and there's like a railroad track situation going on. I'm trying to find some woods because that's where the deer would be. And I see this police officer pulled over on the side of the road, and he's shining his light. And I immediately snap in like, oh, what's he doing? My mind's totally off this deer thing. And I'm watching him, and he's got the spotlight up on this hillside up by the railroad tracks, and he's walking up. And when I look to where the light's pointing, there's this huge buck. It's cold out, and he's just blowing steam out of his nose. And this cop's walking up to him, and I see that he's got a broken leg, and there's just blood just coming all out of this deer's mouth. I don't know if he was hit by a car or what. And I drove away with everything that I needed to know as soon as that police officer started taking his gun out of his holster and walking towards that deer. And I knew immediately that that's exactly what I was supposed to see, and that was, without a doubt, God. And it's happened a couple other times. I get choked up telling the story, but it's important. But Big Bird, I'm on my knees in the kitchen praying to God, and I write on that list on the refrigerator, giant bird before I leave the house.
What, like, just guys that just pop in your brain?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be something weird, like you're not going to see birds at night, and there was a 1 a.m. start, or like a 2 a.m. start, and the whole thing was like, show me this sign before I get home, and the shift ended that morning at 8:30. So I wanted to pick something that was like not necessarily going to happen, if you will. Mm-hmm. And knowing that if you give God's like a heads or tails, I always say this, like, God, give me heads or tails, it'll land, the penny or whatever will land on its side, but like God takes it further, and that penny will just shatter into pieces, so you can't even doubt that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I go to the shift to tell this guy that my buddy and I are talking about doing a brokerage. The shift goes on for 7 hours or whatever it is, and we have the opportunity to leave early, like at 8:10 or something. And we can't clock out because we're new and whatever else. But I'm sitting there talking to this guy, and it's in like the main entrance area. And out of nowhere, and again, my mind totally falls off of it. And the guy who's training us all day, out of nowhere, just yells, "Hey, bird's at the door!" And I immediately stopped. I'm like, what did he say? He goes, "Bird, you gotta go around." There's a door that was broken, and he's yelling across the room where everybody stops and looks at this guy yelling, because it's the craziest shit I've ever heard. There's bird at the door. He can't get in. I don't even know what that means. And sure enough, this like taller Hispanic dude, who I come to find out super nice, his last name's Bird, comes walking through, and I'm sitting there talking to that guy, and I say, dude, I literally just prayed and wrote it on the thing and told him this is the story I'm telling you guys, that happened. And it was a giant bird. I was driving into work thinking turkeys would cross.
Yeah.
People would have some big yard thing,
Sesame Street or something. But that's so crazy. And then you called me, and funny enough, like it was my first day at a job, and like this must have happened like right when you met this bird guy. It was like legitimately, because I went into work at 8. It was my first day on the job, and like I was there for like 15 minutes getting my stuff set up, and the HR dude comes in, and he's like, Jeremy Covert, and he pulls me into his office, and I go in, and he's like, "Hey man, we didn't get like through some background checks, we'll just say." But they never let me know, and he like, I was getting set up for my first day of work, and the dude was basically like, "Yeah, you gotta go." And when I'm walking in the parking lot, Bryant calls me with this fucking Big Bird story.
I just got home. I was so pumped. I'm like, Jer, you'll never believe what happened. I texted him first. I'm like, dude, call me. I got some great news. And I even texted my wife on the way home. I said, hey, that whole story I wrote it on the refrigerator. Giant bird, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you the story when we get home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's fucking nuts.
And like that type of stuff it happens for a reason, and we're not going to ignore it anymore. I think that's what we came down to.
And it's given me personally, like, it's taken all that anxiety that I would have otherwise, I think, doing this away. Because, what was it? I mean, it's kind of silly stuff. Like the other day, I had we started a day late, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We're doing all this stuff, and what was it? I'm looking in, there goes my phone. Probably a customer.
Yeah, right.
Nope. What was it? Like the first time ever we had I've got a garden in the back, camera overlooks it, it's completely barren, and then my camera goes off at like 1 something in the morning. It's this giant owl eating a rabbit in the middle of the thing, and it's just like, weirdly.
Yeah, that was weird. That video you
Yeah.
showed me. It's all this weird shit.
It
that,
may
like,
appear barren, but this bird's still being provided by God something to eat, which is
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
It's
I've
just-
never been
never
like
seen that.
super religious. I think I'm more spiritual, and I'm trying to discover that. And all this stuff that keeps happening is like it's hard not to be religious or spiritual at this point, especially with what's going on. But like sink or swim, we're doing these videos for hopefully some people will watch them and get inspired, and hopefully we can have fun with it. You know, that's the goal.
Yeah.
And you know, this one's a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but fuck it. You know, nobody's watching this shit anyways. But see you guys.
Love
We'll
you.
see you tomorrow.